nigga, what? I said tap in with your love, nigga, what? I ain't never gave a fuck, nigga, what? You better tap in with your love, nigga, what? I ain't never gave no fuck, nigga, what? I said tap in with your love, nigga, what? I ain't never gave no fuck, nigga, what? Better tap in with your love, nigga, what? I ain't never gave no fuck, nigga, what? You better tap in with your love, nigga, what? I ain't never get no fuck, nigga, what? You better tap in with your love, nigga, what? 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 Yeah, I like my beats real bouncy. That way she can twerk it when them bitches all around me. I can't understand why humans moving so cloudy. Fuck all that expansion and contraction, I'm expounding. I'ma take a beat and beat it up, oh bitch, I'm pounding. I'ma take a beat and heat it up just like it's ground beef. I ain't see no limits, I ain't stopping till I'm finished. I'm replenished, cleaned up like the dentist. I'm addictive, I might come through on some petty shit. Salty like spaghetti, bitch. Boy, you ain't ready. Break the levees when the youngest spit. But be so violent, laying beats down in the fucking dish. I done paid my lane, so ain't no way that I'ma fucking switch. Wake up every day, I make a play just like I'm Michael Pitt. Boy, get out my way, y'all faking sick just like some counterfeits. Damn.
Yeah. First they got the money, it's okay, you ain't gotta hold me back. I've been in the field, nigga, I don't need a quarterback. Spend that money, make it back, then you don't gotta anything. Ever since I seen it, look at me, I don't see a change. Yeah, I don't see a change. On some Asian Russell shit, I'm 27, but I'm not. How you turning 28, but in your face I'm 55. Gotta look down for crazy bitches, I don't got the time. Yeah, I don't got the time. Rather find a sweet lady who is really down to ride. In my country, spray you with the money, cause we got a lot. Whenever she got a hungry tummy, gonna take her out. Yeah, gonna take her out. Whenever she feel the way, only gonna dig her down. Yeah, gonna dig it down. Whenever she feel the way, only put it in her mouth. Nigga, what? Nigga, what? Nigga, what? Nigga, what? Nigga, what?
All right. Word in the word. We back in this bitch. You already know. Schwetzy in this motherfucker. Communication station. We back at it. Shout out to everybody who fucking viewed that newest track. 2 newest tracks, actually. Low key, both of them are fucking jumping pretty good. Not even gonna hold you. Some of these other fucking videos off of this album took a little while to get to like break 100 views. Like took like a month or some shit just to break 100 views. Fucking this one's less than the first one less than 2 weeks old. That shit already over 100. So shout out to y'all fucking with the new shit. You know, shout out to Fresh Sage as well. Some fucking fun ass tracks to do. You know what I'm saying? Some really fun ass tracks to fuck around on. But aside from that, we gonna get straight down to business today. I got a couple topics I'm gonna combine into one video because they kind of tie into each other to a certain way because you know we'll talk about how they tie together. But anyways, getting right into this shit. Welcome back to the communication station. Today our topic is how pain or being hurt to a certain degree or trauma, anything like that. A lot of times this shit manifests out into anger and rage and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And now there's a very distinct difference to keep in mind as well. Whenever we're talking about rage and anger and shit like that, we've talked about on here in the past before, and you know, other videos that we've had with other people and stuff like that. We've talked about how rage and anger can be applied as a tool, and even to the point of how keeping like a low level of not arrogance, but annoyance. Yeah, that's the word. Like a low level of annoyance to carry around, which you can be useful in certain situations. Cause it's like, obviously I'm not going to put my anger and rage and annoyance onto a person who don't necessarily deserve it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like also in the aspect of being like a coiled snake ready to strike when need be. You know what I'm saying? But that whenever you get to that point, that's after you've already done a fair bit of shadow work. You know where your anger and rage and annoyance is stemming from, and you're utilizing it as a tool rather than it just being something that is imposed on you, or you're using as like a defense mechanism or a survival tactic based upon the trauma that you have went through and shit like that, and you just fucking angry and mad and hateful towards the whole world for no reason, essentially. You know what I'm saying? So we don't really want to be in those aspects where we're just being assholes all the time for no reason. You know what I mean? But that low level of annoyance, that low level of anger and rage that you can use whenever people try to play with you or something like that, that's when it can be a good thing. You know what I'm saying? But even then, if you haven't been very conscientious about what you've been doing and your emotional states and shit like that, and you haven't worked through a lot of your traumas and stuff, you might just be being an angry motherfucker just for the simple fact that, bitch, you've been hurt really bad a lot. You know what I'm saying? And you never attended to that emotion and feeling. You never attended to that hurt. You never actually dealt with that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I've noticed how a lot of people will try to correlate anger and rage and shit coming from fear. You know what I'm saying? Especially when we start to get into like topics of violence and stuff like that. Like people will seem to think that a lot of individuals who utilize a lot of anger and aggression and shit like that, or try to intimidate people all the time with their rage and stuff like that, a lot of people seem to think that this is stemming from a fear standpoint. Now, it can be, don't get me wrong, it can be, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of the time, a person is afraid only because of how much they've been hurt. You get what I'm saying? Like a person would be afraid of confrontation and utilize the rage, anger program just for that simple fact, because of the fear, but it's stemming from how they've been hurt. You get what I'm saying? So that would be why a person would even, sorry, excuse me. That would be why a person would even be afraid in the first place. That would be why a person would even be carrying fear in the first place, because they have been through situations to where they know what happens when shit gets like this. You know what I'm saying? When things start to go into a violent direction, they know, you know what I'm saying? They know kind of what happens. So they afraid to experience getting their ass beat again, or experience, you know what I'm saying, somebody dying around them, or you know what I'm saying. It plays out into a multitude of ways, but I think y'all get the gist of what I'm saying. It's not necessarily just off of the fear paradigm. It's stemming from something as well. You know what I'm saying? It's stemming from how many times they've been hurt and the trauma that they still carrying. So it can play out through fear means, but at the same time, it could just be a situation where a person has been through a lot of traumas and they've dealt with a lot of pain and hurt that they never actually dealt with, you know what I'm saying, or never healed that wound, or never put any fucking neosporin on the cut and shit like that, and helped it get along and stuff like that. So a person could be very much not afraid but still be utilizing the rage and aggression program off of the hurt that they have experienced, off of the pain and the trial and tribulations that they've went through, the traumas that they have experienced. You know what I'm saying? A person doesn't necessarily have to be afraid to be, or even be in a situation where they're in like survival mode. It might not even be like a fight or flight response. These motherfuckers could just be pissed off due to the simple fact that they've experienced a lot of pain and hurt and they just never dealt with it. You get what I'm saying? So it doesn't necessarily have to be something that even has anything to do with surviving. It doesn't have to be anything that has to do with being afraid, anything like that. Now, mind you, it can be. It doesn't always play out where a motherfucker is solely not afraid or solely not trying to survive and shit like that. It very much can be. But I think a lot of these things still stem from being hurt and being traumatized. And these things become, when you are hurt and traumatized over and over again, fuck, you might be thinking, damn, I need to learn how to do something so that I can survive in these environments. But I need to do something to cover up and mask my fear and shit like that. But at the end of the day, I still think it come from all the hurt and pain that a motherfucker has been through. So the more that you can deal with these things as they occur, or at least over time, be aware of what the shit that you've been through and be aware of how it's playing out on your mind and your emotional state of being. That way you're not in a situation where it's just like everyone gets that aggressive, angry, annoyed, raged out version of you. You get what I'm saying? For necessarily no reason. And this is the thing too. People will view things in a weird manner due to the trauma that a person has went through that they never dealt with. You get what I'm saying? They're always going to be constantly second guessing things. And the problem with that is we can be very different individuals. I can be my unique individual self all that I want to all day. The problem is there's still going to be similarities. You get what I'm saying? So just for the simple fact of me being me and you being extremely traumatized individual who is still carrying forth traumas from old circumstances and situations and allowing that to hinder your present moment progress and what you're currently experiencing and shit like that, we can be in a situation where I can show you something that appears like something you've seen before, even though my mindset behind it is completely different, my intention behind it is completely different. Or it could just be a situation where I'm being my own authentic, unique individual self. You know what I'm saying? But I still make jokes like somebody you've experienced before. I still laugh at certain shit like somebody you've seen before. You know what I'm saying? So you equate that in your mind to like, oh yeah, this is another ain't shit ass individual, and here we go. Look out! I need to be very wary in this moment because man, this motherfucker, they showing me characteristics and traits that look like this other ain't shit ass individual that I've dealt with. So boom, automatically you are now an ain't shit ass individual, and I need to look out because you getting ready to fuck me over real quickly. You know what I'm saying? So I need to go ahead and protect myself, and that's where the fear and the fucking survival mode shit like that comes in. I need to go ahead and protect myself. I need to go ahead and be extremely raged out and mean to this individual, or I need to be in a situation where I need to just duck off and disconnect and run away, essentially. You know what I'm saying? But these are all trauma responses. It's all has to do with something that you have been through in your past that you are still carrying with you. You know what I'm saying? And you're not understanding. You're still fucking off your own opportunities for no reason. Now, on a more personal level, on a more personal level, for me, it played out as, see, I wasn't necessarily carrying the old traumas into new circumstances and situations. You get what I'm saying? It was just a situation where I noticed that the pain that I was going through was directly correlated to the rage and the anger that I was feeling. You get what I'm saying? So it wasn't it like I had already gotten past the point of perhaps shit that I went through in my past. Maybe either that or the shit was just still hidden underneath the anger and the annoyance and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But it's still like I still have a high level of self-control. So I can sit around and be annoyed and be angry as fuck all day and shit like that and still be kind to the people who are in my environment and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't necessarily allowing it to hinder me on a more physical level, but it was still something that was bothering me on a more mental and emotional level and on a more internal level. You get what I'm saying? So this was something that I had to deal with here recently. You know what I'm saying? Getting rid of or dealing with the pain and not allowing it to sit there and stifle and continue to develop more anger and hatred and rage and just fucking essentially being annoyed all the time. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, we can utilize this as a tool. It can be a very beneficial and it can be a very good thing. You know what I'm saying? When certain individuals deserve this type of energy from you. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, fuck, you don't necessarily just want to be angry all day. You don't necessarily want to be fucking annoyed all day and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It can be beneficial in the times that it need be, you know what I'm saying? But just carrying that sentiment all day, that I just see that as a person who is hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like based on my own experiences, you know what I'm saying? I just see that as a person who has been hurt very bad, and you might not even know that you are still carrying pain that you're not even aware of, even if it's not hindering your third dimensional outward experiences, and it's not fucking up how you react and respond to individuals in your environment. It's not making you second guess people and fucking question all this shit and, oh, should I trust them and da 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 da. No, you can still love freely, you can still experience freely and all this stuff, even with this annoyance and the anger and shit like that. You just got to deal with the pain. You know what I'm saying? If that's something that you're not wanting to experience and you're not actively putting yourself in the sentiment of being like, okay, I need to be angry throughout this period of the day, or I need to be slightly annoyed, especially when I'm going to interact with the environment and shit like that. I need to be in that space. If you're not consciously, actively putting yourself in that space and you're just fucking there by default, bitch, you're probably fucking hurt. And you're either lying to yourself or you've disguised it so well and came up with all type of justifications to the point where you're not even realizing that you still just hurt at the end of the day. You just in pain at the moment, and the anger and rage is playing out in that way because of that. You get what I'm saying? Shout out Gray Santa. Thanks for popping through and thanks for paying attention. Now we're gonna get into the second part of the video. Let's see exactly how I titled this shit up. I have a rough idea. Yeah, you're not changing for me, change for yourself. You get what I'm saying? Now, people who are in a high level of pain and people who are traumatized very deeply, and you are allowing that pain that you have let sit and have not dealt with, and you're allowing that pain to turn into anger and rage and aggression and being annoyed all the time. And on top of that, it is hindering your relationships with people. It is making you lose opportunities. It's fucking up your connections with certain individuals. Your relationship with your family is all type of flunked out. And on top of that, you just keep fucking over people who are good for you and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Or hurting, you're causing hurt based off of the hurt that you have felt through your anger and rage program and putting that onto people who don't even necessarily deserve it. Now, if you're in that type of situation, a lot of time I've seen people who develop these trauma responses and these habitual behavioral characteristics and traits over time. A motherfucker will be like, well, that's just me. That's just the way I am. And I'm not about to change for nobody. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all have heard this. I know not only have y'all heard this on the internet, but I know, especially if you're a person who's more grown like me and you've actually like experienced relationships with females, or if you're a female, you've experienced relationships with dudes, or you're gay, whatever, romantic relationships with people. I know you've experienced people who are like this. Well, that's just the way that I am now. You know, that this is who I've became through all the shit that I've went through, and I'm not about to change for nobody. It just is what it is, and I am the way that I am. This is a thing that y'all need to take into consideration. There are people who will come around you and try to change you as a manipulation tactic just so you will act the way that they want you to act and shit like that. That's very true. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, there's people who will do it out of genuine means. Like, don't get it fucked up. You can be a very fucked up and traumatized individual, but you might be very genuine. You get what I'm saying? And you might be in a situation where you're like, fuck, why can't I ever find anyone who is as genuine as me and who is as sensitive as me and who can feel things the same way that I feel things? You know what I'm saying? You might be in that type of situation. I'm here to let you know right now, there are genuine people out there. You very much so are not alone. Like, there are real individuals out there who feel things just as deeply as you and who are just as genuine as you are. You get what I'm saying? But you're getting blocked by the pain that you've went through. So every time a person show you something that looked like some shit you went through in the past, or you act a certain way that kind of correlate to some way that someone else acted towards them, automatically in their mind, it's going to be chalked up as, oh, this person is disingenuous because this person was showing me these traits and fuck, they went and cheated on me, and they told me they love me too, but fuck, they went and did all this to me, and they was behind closed doors, domestic violence in my ass and all types of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But there are genuine people out there. Don't get lost in your own trauma and your own past experiences. You get what I'm saying? Now, that's not to say to be naive and fucking think that everyone out there is just going to be good to you, or you just need to hop into every circumstance and situation and fucking go all in with it. Like, no, that might not necessarily be the mode that you need to be acting this shit out through. You know what I'm saying? Just Utilize your discernment. You know what I'm saying? If you feel a strong connection to an individual, and you feel like things are going to be okay at the beginning, you know what I'm saying? Don't let your mind start playing tricks on you. You know what I'm saying? Don't let your fear and all the pain that you've been through make you run away, or make you be extremely aggressive to these individuals when they might not even necessarily deserve it. A motherfucker could really have your best intentions at heart. You know what I mean? Now, the way I titled this is for a very specific reason. You're not changing for me, you're changing for yourself. Now, this is the thing. When a genuine individual comes around you, you get what I'm saying? They're going to be able to see you from an outside perspective. You get what I'm saying? So that you can only see yourself from the inside looking out, essentially. Like, obviously, a person like me who is viewing you, I'm not going to be able to completely see what's on your emotion. I'm not going to be able to completely see what's on your mind. I'm not going to be able to completely see every single one of your flaws and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, like, things aren't exactly clear like that. But even though I can't see all those things fully, as a genuine individual, I'm going to be able to see some things about you, at least. You know what I mean? And a person who really has your best intentions at heart, they're going to want to point these things out to you. You know what I'm saying? Especially a person like me. Like, I'm not just going to sit here, especially if I care about you. I'm not just going to sit here and let you be stupid around me. And uh that's not to imply stupidity off the rip. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what I'm getting at. That's just, I guess, for lack of better term. But I'm not gonna sit here and just let you be stupid or ignorant. That would probably be a more better word. I'm not just gonna sit here and let you be ignorant around me. You know what I mean? Now, especially if I've been through similar circumstances, I've been through similar hurt as you, I've been through similar trauma as you, I've been through similar experiences, like the way that your environment react and respond to you. And low key, I can kind of still peep the mentality you're carrying. I can peep the emotion that you're in throughout the day for a larger percentage level of the time and shit like that. And I'm also able, like, people will communicate with you too. Like, when a person, whenever all those emotions like wash down and you're finally in that moment of peace and clarity and shit like that, a lot of times people who have been really hurt and you're on the receiving end of dealing with a person who's been very hurt, they will even express to you, like, I don't want to act this way. I don't want to feel this way. I don't want to think this way and shit like that. People just be thinking that they don't have control over these things due to the programming and how we fucking been raised up in this life and shit like that. Especially if you've been through to a therapist or a doctor or some shit and have some formulation of a diagnosis. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers will teach you, put the indoctrination into your mind and make you think you're stuck this way and you are going to be this type of way. You're going to have these thoughts and feelings for the rest of your life, even though that if that may be true, it's not true that you have no control over directing these things. It's not true that you have no control over your own actions. You get what I'm saying? Like, they will have motherfuckers be believing that they're just stuck. And there's nothing they can do about it. The only thing you can do is go to therapy or take this drug, and you bitch, you just are the way that you are. And now we have to put you in an aspect of giving you some type of drug that make you feel no emotions and make you just be completely zombied out. And now you don't even have the juice to be able to attack your dreams and goals. The best thing that you can come up with in your mind is go and fucking work a job for the rest of your life, or, you know what I'm saying, some dumbass shit like that. Now, you're not out of control. You're not, like I told y'all in my previous video too. Y'all don't need to be fixed. It's just shit that you need to pivot on and small adjustments that you need to be made. Now, when you are a person who's been very hurt and you're still very traumatized and you haven't dealt with these things properly and shit like that, a genuine person around you is going to point out certain things to you to try to help you along your path. You know what I'm saying? Especially if we're in a situation where you're at point A, I'm at point B, and damn near I can sit here and tell you, bro, I literally used to be you. You get what I'm saying? Like, I used to, like, I might not have went to the doctor. I might not have went through a whole bunch of fucking therapy and all this shit, but I see you. You know what I'm saying? Like I see you for who you really are. Like I I literally used to be that. I used to have those same impulse control issues. I used to fucking rage out and punch shit and break shit and fucking damn near punch myself. You know what I'm saying? I used to be you. You know what I'm saying? So, and now this is the problem. You being a traumatized individual, you might have dealt with a lot of people in your past who sat here and said maybe even similar things to you, but the intention behind it was completely different. You know what I'm saying? They were doing this just so you would treat them better or some shit, or they were doing this just so uh you would change that way. Like I said, you can be how they want you to act. You know what I'm saying? Like it'd be a deep rooted psychological manipulation tactic. You know what I'm saying? And people will play on your mind and your emotions and shit like that. And especially people will be holding the sentiment of viewing you and making you feel like you're doing something wrong right now. You get what I'm saying? Like you're fucking up heavily. You're doing something really wrong at the moment, and you just desperately need to listen to me because I'm fucking essentially God to you. Jesus done sent me to you and shit. Like, no, not nothing like that. A real genuine individual don't give a fuck. You don't have to treat me good. You don't have, like, we don't even have to be around each other for the remainder of my lifetime and shit like that. Like, nah. I just see where you're coming from because I used to be there. I'm trying to help you get to point B. That way your entire experience, your entire paradigm can shift. And the way, like, you be being mistreated by your own family, you be being mistreated by certain other individuals and shit like that. I'm trying to show you how you can pivot and adjust right here. And the way that everything reacts and responds to you will change. Your entire reality will change. You get what I'm saying? Even if we're in a situation where shit, I could still be broke right now. I could still have fucking nothing but a lint ball in my pocket right now. I could have old fucking broke down fucking beater ass vehicle. You know what I'm saying? None of that shit matters. We're not getting into monetary means right now. We just getting into being in the right mental and emotional state of being to where opportunities are not getting squandered, and also the way that people are dealing with you now is much different because now you have strong boundaries. And not only that, you're not just an asshole. You know what I'm saying? You're not just angry and annoyed with people all the time because of the hurt that you've been through, especially if it comes down to family and shit like that. Family could have fucked you over real bad whenever you was growing up and stuff, and still on, like, still up through, not only through your upbringing, as you become an adult, your family could still be fucking you over to a very high degree. You know what I'm saying? And trying to play like shit is sweet or something like that. You know what I mean? And the reason is because not only the mental and emotional state of being that you're in and the mentalities that you carry and the characteristics and traits that you exhibit as an individual, but also on top of that, how you're dealing with these individuals. You know what I'm saying? How you're not setting boundaries, how you are just being extremely rude to individuals without having a level of consideration or kindness. A person is not going to be receptive to you in the long run when you're just being angry and aggressive out all the time. You get what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to family means. You get what I'm saying? So you can try this shit for the rest of your fucking life. But the more that you add on to that anger and aggression and rage, these people are not going to be receptive to you. They're not going to be receptive to your needs. And the way that they react and respond to you is going to continue to be on some shiesty ass bullshit to the point where even motherfuckers might be trying to throw you in jail or fucking forget about you and let you starve and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That's how this shit will play out a lot of the time. But the more that you are dealing with shit in a more healthy manner, as far as not being extremely rude and raged and aggressive towards these individuals because you're still essentially like holding a grudge over the shit that they've done to you in the past, you got to forgive these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? You got to forgive yourself for even allowing that hurt to reside within you for so long. And you got to forgive yourself for developing these trauma responses and these base level instincts off of what you've went through. You get what I'm saying? Because this is the thing about it. I can tell you this shit from experience. You probably ain't never gonna get an apology from these motherfuckers. I can tell you that right now. people who have hurt you, and they're probably still operating off of some trauma that they done been through, and da 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 da, and you know what I'm saying, trickle down, fucking all type of other shit, generational cursed out. You will probably never even get an apology from these motherfuckers. So you can sit here all day and even be bringing up time, place, location, fucking the date that shit occurred, all type of shit. You can be saying that, oh, this is what you done to me, this is how it affected me, da 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 da. 9 times out of 10, a motherfucker just gonna sit back and scratch their head and be like, well, I don't remember that. That never happened. You're probably lying. I don't even remember that. That's what you're gonna get from family a lot of the time. You know what I'm saying? And even other individuals, it could just be friends or associates that you've came across who have fucked you off in a certain way. Yeah, they probably gonna be in the same type of sentiment. The fucked up part about it is somebody who not a family member is probably gonna actually acknowledge the event that happened, but still, you probably not gonna get an apology from them. And even if you do, it ain't gonna be nothing genuine. You know what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be a situation where it's like, okay, I'll acknowledge that this event took place, but the reason for why that event took place is because of X, Y, and Z that you did to me. So now I'm in a space where in response, I needed to do this to fuck you over in some type of way. You get what I'm saying? That's how that shit will play out a lot of the time. You probably not even gonna get an apology. You know what I'm saying? So you need to be taking care of it yourself. You have to face these things, even if it comes down to a point where you got to eliminate alcohol and drugs, even if it come down to a point you got to eliminate cigarettes and nicotine, you got to eliminate smoking weed for a while, just to sit with that pain and really understand it and understand how it's playing out into all these other different areas in your life, how it's fucking you over. You know what I'm saying? You got fucked over way the fuck back here by someone else, but you harboring and honing in on that and keeping that shit as like a, even if it's not like, you could just see the residuals of it. It's like it's at like a low level operating within you. It's not even something that is like prevalent on your mind all the time, thinking about that pain and trauma you went through. No, it could just be something that's residing at a very low resonance. It don't even have to be something that's extremely fucking prevalent or powerful. You know what I'm saying? But you continuing to carry that on and not seeing how it's stemming to all this other shit, you got fucked over way back here, but you are fucking your own self over by carrying it on. You get what I'm saying? Now we can point the finger and point the foot at a motherfucker and blame bitches all day, blame niggas all day, blame fucking parents and all these other things all day that we want to. But at the end of the day, it's your fault for continuing to carry that shit on with you. You know what I'm saying? Even down to the point where certain people could blame the initial trauma that they went through, blame the person for causing that initial trauma that they went through, all the way to the point where even in this present day, you could still be blaming your parents or blaming these people who have put you through trauma just due to the simple fact of it made you into a certain way. You get what I'm saying? The reaction and response that you got from going through this traumatic event, and now the emotion that you carry with you and the characteristics and traits that you developed off of that emotion, it's still their fault. You get what I'm saying? This person made me this way. So the reason I keep fucking over my own life and in this present moment, I'm still running from individuals who are nothing but good to me, and I'm still fucking off opportunities, and I'm still just being extremely aggressive and rude to people for no fucking reason. It's still that person's fault. It's still this person's fault because they made me into this way. I wouldn't have even been in a space to develop these characteristics and traits if fucking Susie Ann wouldn't have fucked me over when I was growing up. You know what I'm saying? We can do that all day, but bitch, it low key, high key, any type of fucking key, minor key that you want to put it in, major key that you want to put it in, bitch, it's your own goddamn fault. You know what I'm saying? And now, I know that might make some certain individuals sensitive. I know that might be hurtful to hear for certain individuals, but we're grown now. You know what I'm saying? We're grown now. It's our responsibility to take care of these things. You know what I'm saying? Because shit, me personally, we want to talk about trauma and shit like that. the shit that I've been through in the past, I even got to the point where I chalked it up to that even being my fault. You know what I'm saying? Like, it might not necessarily have been my fault that this person did that to me. That's on their own conscience, and that's on their own actions and shit like that. That's on their own fucking upness. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I took heavy responsibility over these things. Now there's shit that I've went through that fuck a lot of people couldn't even fathom. You know what I'm saying? But I just got to the point where it's like, okay, is what it is. Not only is what it is, but at the same time as that, it's like, damn, I got to take responsibility, because obviously this is a cycle, because I keep fucking experiencing the shit, and I experienced it early on in my life and stuff like that. Obviously there's something that I did in a past life to deserve this shit. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, otherwise I would not be experiencing this. This would not be my experience on this level of existence if I had not done something to deserve this shit. I might not be aware of exactly what that is to be able to pinpoint, you know what I'm saying? But that's why the present moment is so beautiful. That's why we can break these cycles and we can grow through these things. You know what I'm saying? But that's just how my mind frame is around it. You know what I mean? That might excuse me. Now, that might not be overall truth for everybody in every single situation. You know what I'm saying? That's just the conclusions that I came to, and that's the way that helped me with these things. You know what I mean? Now, like I said, a lot of people will be thinking that you're trying to have them change for you and shit like that. No, bitch, you're not. I'm not even trying to change you. This is the thing. Like, if I'm dealing with you, I accept you as you are. Like, I don't give a fuck. You can be old snarky and rude to me. You can be this and that to me. That doesn't even really concern me. You know what I'm saying? Because I know who I am. You can say whatever fucking words that you want to. You're not gonna shake my confidence. You're not gonna shake who I am at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So you can be whoever the fuck you feel like you need to be at the moment. But as me being me, I'm going to point out to you certain things that you're doing, regardless if you're doing it to me or not. That's not even really what I'm focusing on. You know what I'm saying? I'm just letting you know the way that you're interacting with your environment is the reason why you're going through the shit that you're going through, and the shit that you have been going through on repeat over and over again, and you cannot figure out how to stop these things. You can't figure out how to break the cycle. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm pointing out to you. I'm pointing out to you how you can shift and adjust these things and get a grip on your mental and your emotional. That way you can have control over your actual physical actions whenever these things start to play out and people see these things from you. You know what I'm saying? So I'll just be letting you know, this is the reason why your life is so fucked up right now. And this is the reason why you're asking me for help right now. You get what I'm saying? Even if you want to run away 1,000 times, even if you want to be rude and call me names and act like I'm a certain type of way and shit like that, it's not about any of that. I don't give a fuck how you treat me. Schwetz is Schwetz at the end of the day. Like, I know who the fuck I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really give a fuck about none of that. I just like to help people. You know what I'm saying? And that's not being in a people pleasing type of aspect. That's not being in a fucking extremely overly fucking self-sacrificing to help motherfuckers type of aspect. No, it's not about any of that. I just genuinely like to help people. Helping people also helps me. You get what I'm saying? And not only that, when I deal with people who are like how I used to be and shit like that, it still helps me in my present moment. It helps me deal with shit and realize shit within myself that come from that same space that I might still be perpetuating, that has been hidden under a lot of layers. That it just helps me with my shadow work. Helping you helps me, and vice versa. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I'm pointing out to you. How you can pivot and adjust yourself so that your entire experiences change. You get what I'm saying? And I've even had to like show people this shit with like real tangible proof. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, you knew me whenever I was in this type of experience. You know what I'm saying? You knew me all these years ago, 5 years ago and shit like that. You saw what I was going through. You know what I'm saying? You saw me fucking living at trap houses and shit like that. And fucking long story, bro. We don't even got to get into all that, bro. You seen me living with the fucking cockroaches and the drug dealers and the fucking meth head. Like you seen it. You knew where the fuck I was at. You know what I'm saying? Now this is the thing. I still have pretty much, except for the people that I have intentionally, consciously disconnected from on purpose. You know what I'm saying? You have seen me go from that. I still have the same exact connections as I had back then. You get what I'm saying? But how these connections now react and respond to me is completely different from back then. So back then I would be in a situation where I had to be in the trap house. I had to be dealing with the roaches and shit. Like I physically had to be. There was no other option for me. You get what I'm saying? But now with the same connections, how I adjusted myself and how I pivoted and got into the right spaces within myself, now my entire experience changes. These same connections now support me whenever there was no support to be found. You get what, man, you get what I'm saying? This is the type of shit that, man, this type of shit is about to piss me off in this motherfucker. You just got to understand, bro. It's really not that complicated. It's really not. It's really not that complicated at all. So this is the thing. For y'all people who are still extremely traumatized and y'all people who are extremely like still like very not trusting of individuals and shit like that, and always letting that trauma you've been through cloud your present circumstance and situation, be more free and be more open to experience, even if you do get fucked over. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, learn to spot when somebody is really genuine around you. You know what I'm saying? Learn to spot that, because there's individuals out here who would give you anything and who would help you through any situation. You know what I'm saying? No matter how you treat them, no matter how many times you want to run away and shit like that, no matter how many times you want to hide by yourself and just go solo and be depressed and probably lock yourself in a dark room and shit like that with no light. Because trust me, I get it. I do that shit a lot. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I just don't want to fucking be connected to anything. Sometimes I just want to turn off all the electronics and literally just sit in a fucking cold, dark room and stare at the ceiling for a few days. Like, trust me, I get it. I understand that to the highest degree. You know what I'm saying? But it's all about always coming back, number one. But number two, be receptive. Be open to listening. Every time that somebody points out a flaw of yours or an area where you could be doing better at, it's not to say that you're doing wrong, number one. And number two, it's not an attack against you. Now, don't get it fucked up. It can be. It very much can be. Individuals do this shit all the time. Individuals have very deep manipulation tactics that they utilize against people. Like that is very fucking true. But at the same time, there's people out here who are doing complete opposite, but sometimes we have no choice but for our words and shit to sound similarly, the way that we approach it to seem similarly and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like all of us, we're all on our own healing journey and shit like that. And sometimes we still don't have the right mode of communication, especially with a person like me. You know what I'm saying? And Dave Beyond TV taught me this. Shout out to him. My Mercury is in Capricorn, so my Mercury is already in a detriment space. So how I'm gonna sit here and communicate to you isn't fully worked out yet. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I be so enigmatic. Like that really helped me understand that shit. Like, so a person like me, I might have the greatest of intentions and I really have you in my heart and on my mind and shit like that. But the way that I sit here and talk, it might sound fucked up for a moment. You know what I'm saying? Or it might sound harsh, or you know what I mean? Like it might sound fucked up, but it's like only whenever I see your response to it is when I'm like, oh fuck, I should have reframed that. I should have said that shit a different type of way. Like I ain't mean for that shit to come across in that type of manner. You know what I'm saying? So like there's still shit that I struggle with as an individual. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not for me to sit up here on fucking YouTube and act like I'm some high and mighty godly figure, some fucking benevolent fucking spiritual leader or some shit, and y'all just need to listen to every fucking word that I say and shit like that. Like, no, like I know. Like that's why I do so much reframing whenever I even be sitting here on my videos. Like fucking I'll say something and then I'm like, oh fuck, hold on. I can see how that would be taken in certain type of ways. I can see how that could be misconstrued in some type of ways. Let me let you know that I don't mean this from that. What I'm actually meaning is to try to say this, but the way I said it, it might have sounded like some shit like this. You know what I mean? But that's besides the point. We can talk about that shit all day. And shout out to Mystical Misty Rowe, aka Trey in the chat. Thanks for popping up, bro. But yeah, we essentially done with this shit. We've been in here for 45 minutes. God damn. I ain't even know. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. I feel like I've been on this bitch for a total of fucking 5 minutes. But yeah. That's all I wanted to let y'all know. Your pain is going to turn into anger and rage if you don't deal with it. And how you actually deal with it, like I was saying before, even if you got to cut out alcohol, weed, nicotine, cigarettes, whatever the fuck it may be, you might have to attack shit from a completely sober mind and just sit with that pain, sit with that emotion, and truly just deal with it. Feel it to its entirety. And even if you got to cry about it, a lot of time, if you let out those tears and shit like that, especially under a full moon or something, like right after that, or if you just like look at yourself in the mirror or some shit while you're dealing with that painful experience, the crying is going to take you to happiness. And you ain't even going to be worried about that trauma no more. That's like how you kind of heal it and deal with it. Or on the flip side, getting in the mirror or some shit like that, while you're dealing with that pain and shit, get in the mirror. The moment that you look into your own eyes and see you and just like remember who the fuck you are real quick, I promise you that shit will fucking oh god, that shit will snap away from you like it ain't nothing. And that's the thing, it's gonna be like a rubber band getting snapped off. It's not gonna be like a boomerang where you try to toss it away and get rid of it and it just fucking bend back to you. Like, no, it's not gonna be like that. It's gonna be something where you can actually get rid of it. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have to deal with the pain and the responses that come from the pain and the characteristics and traits that you've developed off of your trauma. You get what I'm saying? So that's how you actually deal with it. And another thing, you're not changing for me, you're changing for yourself. You get what I'm saying? Now, that topic that we just got off of, the second part of the video, that is not for everyone. You get what I'm saying? Not every person that you're going to come across is trying to change you or help you adjust yourself for positive intention. It can be a manipulation tactic. Like I was telling y'all, it very much can be a manipulation tactic. So just be wary to a certain degree, but don't be so wary and worried to the point where anytime a person show you something that is undesirable to you, now you want to hide and run away and shit. Or now you want to cut this individual off and equate them to being somebody that's going to cause more trauma to you. And they're trying to change you so that they can control you. It's not always like that. You know what I'm saying? It is more rare for individuals to be actually genuine with you. In my experience, anyways, it is more rare. It's kind of harder to find those type of individuals. Don't be fucking searching for them. They will come to you. I promise you they will. So it is more rare, but it's not something that everyone is going to be bad to you, and it's not something that everyone is going to be good to you. You know what I'm saying? So don't be naive and don't be so untrusting that you're fucking off the people who are good to you. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing too. You got to give time and space for things to play out. You get what I'm saying? Because this is the thing about it. Time is going to show you. Some people are really good actors. A person can come around you and while you in that quote unquote honeymoon phase of meeting an individual, even if this is a friendship, you know what I'm saying? Even if this is some type of acquaintanceship, even if it is a romantic relationship, you know what I'm saying? People can come around you and show you a whole bunch of desirable characteristics and traits, aka they can be a really good actor, and while you in that honeymoon phase, they can be really kind to you, they can be really sweet to you, really not about to beat your ass to you, you know what I'm saying? And then after they realize, like, oh yeah, I got this individual, they trust me now, after this time is played out, now I can switch the program up on them, and now I can start domestic violence in the fuck out of their ass. I can start beating on them and shit. I can start really showing my ass and really being extra jackassy towards these individuals, because I know now they obsessed with me, now they're addicted to me, now they fuck with me to the highest degree, now they trust me, so now I can start moving how I really wanted to move the whole time, but I was just doing that shit for the sake of the manipulation, you know what I'm saying? So there are going to be those type of situations out there, so just be wary, but don't be too wary, and don't be naive, you know what I'm saying? Let the time and space play out. You know what I'm saying? And on the other tip of it, somebody can show you desirable shit, but also be showing you shit that hurts your feelings, kinda. You know what I'm saying? Or might seem harsh, or might trigger you in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? That's not always a bad thing. A person can trigger you just because they're triggering all the trauma and pain that you've been through. So it can become annoying to you. It can become very uncomfortable to you. It can make you very pissed off. It can make you want to fucking rage out. Like that, it plays out into a lot of different ways. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just peep game from your own experiences and learn what the fuck you meant to learn from these things. You know what I'm saying? So that's essentially all we have for you guys today. Shout out to everybody who showed up. Y'all go check out the latest album. We still not finished uploading all the songs off of that. Y'all just go check that shit out. You know what I'm saying? But we out of here. I'm gonna go fucking take a piss because I've done drank a whole bottle of water, and I really ain't got nothing else to talk about. That was our topics for today. So y'all take it easy. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.